Welcome into the South Point Arena here in Nevada, Las Vegas. How about Las Vegas, Nevada? Although the other one sounds kind of poetic, that's not the name of anything, as we welcome you in here for a clash between two New England teams. It's the final game of the women's side of the D3Hoops.com Classic and the penultimate game of the event overall, as it's the Emmanuel College Saints out of Boston, Massachusetts, led by Division III's all-time leader for coaching victories, Andy Yosinoff, as they take on longtime head coach Keith Boucher's Keene State Owls and his very young Keene State squad. Pat, yesterday both of these teams were on opposite ends of 30-point losses, and as bizarre as this sounds, it was Keene State who lost by 30 who actually looked sharper than Emmanuel, who won by 30 over a team that was basically down to 5 players.
Yeah, Keene State very impressive, especially early on. They hung with Amherst quite a bit. This is clearly, a team that's had some lineup changes. They've been in flux a little bit. So, I don't think that the 2-8 record necessarily reflects what their potential has been so far or what they might look like going forward into Little East play. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes today. Emmanuel, obviously, with a game against Milwaukee School of Engineering, which came in a little understaffed. Yeah. Not blessed with a ton of athletic talent. Easy for Emmanuel to just kind of win that game going away by being sloppy. So it'll be interesting to see how that manifests itself today. Expect Emmanuel to come out, be a little more focused, and what the level of the challenge looks like for either team kind of remains to be seen. But I look forward to a better played game.
Well, Emmanuel has had an up and down again season. They started ranked in the top 25, which is fairly rare for this program. Were out of the top 25 very quickly when they lost 2 of their first 3 games. Then they didn't get back into the top 25, but they got back on the national ballot when they beat top-ranked Amherst. Then they lost their next 2 games. So it's been up and down, and we talked with the Saints star player, Yuliska Ramirez Tejeda, yesterday. And she had just said, it's a very, very young team. And with her back, I had sort of overlooked the fact that nobody else was. She's such a shining star in the team, but it's a very young team. And she said that that was one of the reasons that she could ascribe to the inconsistency. This is YOLO here. We were told that's what we could call her for short. That's certainly much easier to get out than Yuliska Ramirez Tejeda. And Laura D'Agostino, which is not terribly easy to say either, on the floor, along with Corey Mathis. And the rest of the starting 5 shot is up and no good. But how would you like 2 of these? They might help.
I love that. Gordon, I got to be honest with you. I feel like I would be doing a disservice to my degree in Spanish if I did not refer to her as Ramirez Tejeda as often as possible. So I'm going to stick with that.
All right, fair enough. Kayla Weaver and Caitlin Cipriano rounding out the starting 5 for Coach Yosinoff as the ball's knocked away out of bounds for the Owls. Starters on the floor right now, a very young team. Tamara Gagne, the 5'7" junior guard from Meriden, Connecticut. Number 23, Kenzie Bennett. She's a senior. She's from Lake George, New York, but there aren't a lot of those. Hien Toch, who got the start yesterday, is not in the starting lineup today. Brianna Medalis gets it's Haley DeRoja who gets the start instead. It's DeRoja right there with the ball. And Ariana Hebert rounding out the starting lineup for the Owls. That 3 is way off the mark for Kenzie Bennett. And we'll go the other way, scoreless, 1 minute in.
Pretty disjointed possession there. Obviously, a lot of things did not work out well for Keene State. They didn't quite recover, never got a really good look at the basket out of it.
The strange comparative results, again, Emmanuel is 6-4. Keene State is 2-7. Keene State has a win over Mass Boston, who's 9-1 after beating Messiah yesterday, and Emmanuel has a loss. So, go figure. Ramirez Tejeda there bats the ball around. Ends up in the hands of her teammate, Kayla Weaver, who is a senior. You got Weaver, who's a senior, and Cipriano, who's a senior, along with Ramirez Tejeda, who's fouled here. But everybody else is very young for Coach Yosinoff.
Fascinating conversation you had with Ramirez Tejeda yesterday as well, Gordon. I would definitely recommend people, at halftime, perhaps, go to the d3hoops.com classic page and go find that interview in the list of the many that we have posted so far.
Yeah, very interesting story about how she ended up at Emmanuel after starting her career in Division I and what her favorite sport is. Spoiler alert, it's not basketball.
Not basketball.
So, slipped into the post for nobody in particular. Corey Mathis, the Georgian, comes out with the layup. And a little spark plug point guard gets the Saints on the board. It's 2-0 as Keene State not looking as sharp to start this game as they did yesterday. They do bring the ball across the floor. This is Ariana Ibert. Gets a little bit of a screen, but nowhere to go with the ball. Kenzie Bennett around for Gagne. Gagne saying, "Where are you going?" to the rest of her teammates. The answer is not much of anywhere. Kenzie Bennett, as the shot clock winds down to 4 seconds. Now Gagne is going to have to force something up, gets an off-balance runner that misses everything, and the rebound controlled by Ramirez Tejeda. Liska brings the ball up the floor. Kayla Weaver on the wing. 2-0 Emmanuel. Laura Donna D'Agostino briefly touches the ball. Good.
Interesting programs, these two. Emmanuel right in the heart of Boston. They had, of course, a trip long ago to the Division III Final Four. And I say long ago because it was 2002. Yeah. Yep. Forever ago. But since then, they played in a little bandbox that was so small you could not legally host NCAA tournament games. They've since built something nice and new on campus. Keene State up in Keene, New Hampshire, which is, about an hour and a half or so north of Amherst.
Okay. For
comparison purposes. Little town in which Keene State athletics is like the big deal.
Okay.
They play in this like 1960s era gymnasium, which is, pretty antiseptic and that sort of thing. I believe they have replaced the bleachers since I was there in 06.
Okay.
But that's a place where, basketball is the big thing. And, Coach Boucher's been there for all of that.
Yeah.
And, they've had some success. And right now, not having as much success, but a program that, in a conference in the Little East where you can get back to the top.
3 on the way, off the mark for Ibert, or DeRoja, who scoops it up. Shot. No good, and DeRoja's going to get called for the charge. Yeah, Keene State only a couple of years removed from winning the conference with an exceptionally young roster. Toch and Bennett are the only seniors. They've got one junior, and everybody else is a freshman. So a very, very young team as they start things over there in Keene, New Hampshire. And Ryan Kane has done an excellent job with the men's program up there.
Yep, Kane at Keene has done really well.
Here it's 4-2 Emmanuel. Ramirez Tejeda's baseline jumper no good. D'Agostino, though, with the offensive rebound. And her putback is short. Nice job by Bennett, who battles past Ramirez Tejeda for the rebound. Gagne up the floor. Owls looking for their first field goal and kicks off the foot of Kayla Weaver to reset things.
On the opposite side, you mentioned, of course, briefly, Andy Yosinoff is the active winningest coach in Division III men's basketball, has been there for forever, is basically an institution there.
Yep.
And is still going strong. You may not hear him as much as someone who knows Emmanuel well might expect to hear him on the sidelines because he recently had vocal cord surgery, so he is trying to restrain himself, but while he may restrain himself in terms of volume, can never do so in terms of intensity.
Ramirez Tejeda with the, rare miss of a layup, but she's going to create her own offensive rebound. And give it another try, drive in, and misses again. So 2 rare misses there for the All-American. 3 on the way is off the rim, no good. And Ramirez Tejeda nearly has another offensive rebound. The Owls come out with the ball. She averages 20 points and 11 rebounds per game and shoots 51% from the floor. A 4th-team All-American in the preseason.
By d3hoops.com?
Correct. Yeah. DeRoja pass. Short on the shot is Jordan Burke, the junior, who's checked in. And 4-2 Emmanuel in a game between two teams who don't shoot well from outside. Nice interception there. Layup off the glass. Good for Haley DeRoja, the freshman from Vernon, Vermont, who is the Owls' leading scorer at 11 points per game. We're tied at 4 again.
Nice job. She just stepped into the lane, took the ball away and off to the races.
Ramirez Tejeda struggling here from the field. Another miss from close in. DeRoja over the top of the defense for Hebert. Hebert to the block, tries to slip it for Burke. Burke has it, bangs off Ramirez Tejeda, and up for two. And the Owls, with their first lead of the game, it is 6-4, Keene State.
Transition game, obviously, one thing that's working right now for Keene. The half-court offense has been a bit of a struggle for them, and they've got 4 new players waiting to check in at the next dead ball, but at least on transition, things are working.
Oh, they're going to give Weaver the basket and the foul as she floats in the air and draws the contact, and a chance for Emmanuel to take a 1-point lead. Taylor Gillis, the lanky freshman from Glen Burnie, Maryland, has checked in for the Saints. Also checking in Caitlin Barker, 5'8" freshman guard from Plainville, Connecticut. And Riley Laif, the sophomore 5'9" forward from North Attleboro, Massachusetts. A couple of Owls check in as well. Lily Schliemann from Pelham, New Hampshire. 5'9" guard checks in. And in the game, Leah Pelkey, a 5'10" freshman forward from Wichenden, Massachusetts. And last sub, I think, Hien Toch, the senior from Burlington, Vermont, into the game. 7-6, Weaver does complete the three-point play. This shot no good. Rebound controlled by Laif.
Pelkey with the right idea, just needs to be a little less hesitant, a little more confident with the basketball.
Gillis with a wide open three. That's no good, and the ball trickles out of bounds as Hien Toch watches it float away there. Keene State inbounds the ball. Court press here from the Saints and nearly generates a turnover as the Owls manage to get it back. 22 on the shot clock as they come across the timeline, but there is a steal for Weaver.
I think if there's one thing that Emmanuel women's basketball has been known for throughout the decades, it is that press.
Shot no good. Keene State controls. Pat mentioned the Owls' offense has struggled this year. They're below 40% from the field. Pass down low. Head fake, shot up. Oh, point blank miss there for Samantha Adamson, who checked in. Another freshman from Windham, New Hampshire. Augustino calling for the ball as she tries to post up Adamson. Drive in, Gillis floater. That's going to be a charge.
Yeah. Got the ball off, obviously, well before the contact, but then I think you have some obligation to not completely bowl over the person who is planted in front of you.
Keene State on the season averaging 58 points per game. 39% from the floor, 33% from the arc, 57% from the foul line. And if you're not familiar with women's college basketball, none of those are good percentages. Drive to the baseline. Toch from the top of the arc. Emmanuel's percentage is only a little better. They're 44 from the field. That's not bad, but they're 28 from three and 66 from the foul line. Shot clock down to 6. Gagne weaves her way in. Shot left it short. Rebound D'Agostino. Saints come back the other way, up 7-6 in a sluggish first quarter for both teams. 3 on the way. Front rim, no, side rim, no good for Caitlin Barker. Owls with another rebound, and Toch will try and push down the floor. Toch gets knocked to the floor. She was ricocheting off a couple of different Saints as she headed down the sideline. 3 on the way for Gagne is up and good. Check that. It is Tamra. Gagne had the best game against Amherst yesterday, and she gives the Owls a 9-7 lead.
Nice fluid shooting motion, right? Looks good out there in the perimeter. You can tell that she's going to continue to be a shooter, and obviously, she's one of the few non-freshmen, as you mentioned.
Gagne now with 5 points on 2 for 4 shooting. Emmanuel with another miss from inside the paint. And Gagne up across the arc. Schliemann calls for the screen and runs away from it. Schliemann covered by the much taller Caitlin Cipriano.
Emmanuel switching there on the screens.
9 on the shot clock. Adamson splits the defense, lays it off the glass and good. Good play there for the freshman who averages just 3 points per game, but takes that one on a good power move. The Owls with a 4-point lead.
I did not envision that being successful when she tried that move, but pleasantly surprised.
Nice left-hand hook shot there for Caitlin Cipriano, the senior, who Averages about 4 points per game. Saints with 2 players who average double digits, Ramirez Tejeda and Kayla Weaver. Owls, almost none. They just have DeRosia, who's just into double digits.
It's hard to when you only average 57 a game, right?
Yeah. Gagne goes to the line, or Schliemann, excuse me, and she is fouled. And here comes a host of subs. Well, I know you're good at Russian too, so you'll enjoy this one. Polina Alchinikova checks in from Moscow. Her twin sister, Arina Alchinikova, is also on the team.
The great thing about Russian names is you just pronounce them right as they're, you just run through them.
That's right.
Accent on the second to last syllable generally, and you're good.
Yeah.
Japanese names, very similar, oddly enough.
Oh.
Very easy to pronounce if you just fight your way through it.
Well, how about Southeast Asian names? Hien Toch with the three-point line, with the three-pointer.
Very happy to have you pronounce that for me. Yeah. Thank you.
14-9. Also in the game for the Saints was Jamad Finn. She's from Boston, Mass. Splitting the foul line, so that's a long 2 there for Polina Alchinikova, who played her first significant minutes, as the Owls will run out the remaining second, really her first significant minutes of the season yesterday. And at the end of one period, it's the Keene State Owls 14 and the Emmanuel College Saints 11. We'll take a break, come back. Second quarter coming up in just a bit.
It's on us to stop sexual assault
in any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back. Owls set to inbound here to start the second quarter. As Ariana Hebert, Lily Schliemann, number 11, that's Tamara Gagne. Adamson, who's got the ball right here. And one other player out there for the Owls we'll get to. That's Kenzie Bennett. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can just look at who's on the court.
That's great.
That's cheating.
No, it's why there are other things we can work on. Let's let them do that.
Also, Arina Alchinikova has checked into the game. It's the twin sisters there who watched the skyhook bounce around the rim and nestle in for Keene State. Who's now out to a 16-11 lead. Jamad Finn we'll have to go with the first names now, Paulina and now Arina. Arina is number 11 and Paulina is number 15. That's Arina there, or Paulina there, excuse me. And that's Paulina there. We'll get it right eventually. And that's Yuliska Ramirez Tejeda. She's easy to identify. And her basket brings the Saints within 3.
Well, 2 slightly different hairstyles on the Ovchinikova sisters, so that's also helpful too. We'll be able to figure that out.
Pass deflected away by Paulina. Down the floor. This is Ramirez Tejeda. Pull-up jumper, got it. Yuliska Ramirez Tejeda starting to heat up as she's got 6.
Looks good, looks fluid. You know, what you would expect from an All-American.
Yes. A foul away from the ball. Caitlin Cipriano committing the foul. First foul of the second quarter.
You can't see them on your screen, but the Muskingum men's basketball team plays next, and they're seated up at the top of the bowl here. Travis Schwab and his team hoping to come away 2-0. They won their first game here at the Classic.
Well, only one of the men's teams is going to get to go home with a perfect mark, just like we drew it up, right? It's going to be either River Falls or Muskingum, who play tomorrow. That shot off the mark.
They don't play tomorrow. They play later.
Yeah. But tomorrow, I mean, in about an hour and a half.
It's tomorrow somewhere. For our viewers in Moscow, it would be tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. The Saints with the ball. Ramirez Tejeda on the wing. As Cipriano wants her to switch to the other side of the court. Finn for three, and that's off the rim. She has struggled shooting here this weekend. Ramirez Tejeda fouled on the floor. Two women's teams have already left with a 2-0 record. The two you would expect, Amherst and, well, I don't know, actually you would have expected George Fox. You'd have expected either George Fox or Scranton, and it's George Fox who headed out at about 6 o'clock in the morning here local time back to Oregon. Amherst left as soon as their game was over. They're probably already in Southern California for their next two games.
Yeah, they come to the Classic, and then they continue on for games in Southern California a couple years running now.
They will play Chapman, who is hosting Bowdoin today, so Chapman not shying away from from talent. Wow. Yeah. Bowdoin Chapman, or a Bowdoin Amherst back-to-back game for Chapman for Carol Jew and the Panthers, as that shot is off the mark for Lily Schliemann. 16-15.
They get to go scout them then.
Yes. There you go. A little head fake there from Leif for Auchenikova. And unable to keep it in bounds. Oh, no, they're not going to say she stepped on. I think she stepped on the corner when she tried to inbound it. Unless it was last touched by Keene State. It was. Okay, so Finn will inbound. Weaver checks back in. Weaver had a good start for the Saints, whose offense is kind of bogged down here. Off-balance runner shot no good for Leif. Ball ricochets around Ramirez Tejeda. Soft touch. That's a line drive to nowhere. And air ball caught by Kenzie Bennett.
It's the name of my next album is Line Drive to Nowhere.
Line Drive to Nowhere, yeah. That's going to be a good name.
For my band, Strike 3.
It also could be your fantasy baseball team name. Bass on the outside.
Coleman Stoves has always been my fantasy baseball team.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. We're not Coolers?
No. We try to be, when we're hot, we're the Stoves.
Oh.
Actually, some actual thought was put into that, even if it was like 23 years ago.
Taylor Gillis checks into the game. Jamad Finn will grab a seat. Tamara Gagne, who's been the Owls' best player here this weekend, will have a short break, and Lily Schliemann checks in. DeRozia's got a really nice-looking shot, but she hasn't had any space to get it off here. She's on the floor. That was her briefly with the ball. Kenzie Bennett for three. Open look. Rattles around and out. Nice rebound by Schliemann, who powers up for two.
Good putback, right? Sometimes your best offensive opportunities are when somebody else puts the ball up and you get a chance to clean up the trash and make it into something.
Gillis.
Recycle.
That's right. They're very green in Vermont. Layup off the glass. That's where Green Mountain was, wasn't it, at some point?
Green Mountain is in Vermont, yes. Back when that was a school.
All right. 18-17 as Ramirez Tejeda finishes off another layup. She's got 8 points. That was a dangerous pass and an even tougher shot from Schliemann, who managed to angle it somewhere and get that around the rim despite the really tough angle. Ramirez Tejeda, no one picks her up, thunders into the lane, shot no good. And here come the Owls the other way. Ball poked away momentarily from Hebert, who collects behind her net. And Ariana slips back onto the floor. Reverse layup is up and good for Ariana Hebert. Très bien. 20-17.
How many languages are we going to use here?
I'm running it well. Do you know any Somali? Because Jamad Finn played for the Somali national team.
As a Minneapolis
you
person, I should know more than zero Somali, but I do not.
I know you know some Russian, so we can get that in here at some point.
Конечно.
Yeah. Gillis. Into the post. Cipriano, layup up and good. Nice work by Cipriano to squirt free there and come to the basket for an open layup. 20-19, Keene State, 4:43 to play here in the opening half. The teams, Keene State shooting 51%, Emmanuel 32%, but the Saints dominating the glass. Ebert. Kick save and a beaut off the foot of Taylor Gillis. I promise I'm done with hockey puns now. Although I did tell the story. I won't, I guess what the heck, why not the Emmanuel fans? I'm sure they're dying to hear it. They didn't hear it. That the upstate New York native Guy Ebert, who was well known
as Guy Hebert, yes.
Yes, well, you just stole the punchline. There it was. That his real name was Guy Hebert, but he went by Guy Ebert because he thought it was more hockey sounding. Yeah, that's all right.
I'm so sorry.
To get to the other side, I'll just keep that in mind. Ebert for 3. No. Rebound controlled by Bennett. Ariana with the ball again. Good pass underneath. Inside out. 3 from Schliemann. No. But Adamson with the rebound. Back to Schliemann. Bodies all around the paint. Outside Ebert goes by Gillis. Penetrate. Left hand layup is up and good. Nice look there from Ariana Ebert, and a hard-nosed basket for the Owls, who had 3 opportunities on that possession. Taylor Gillis, who looks like she's going to be a good player, but has been a little out of sorts here this weekend. 3 on the way. Nope, long 2. Second time that she has hit that shot straddling the three-point line. So Kayla Weaver with a long 2 for the, Riley Leif with the long 2 for the Saints. Leif pokes at the ball. Schliemann recovers. Stolen away by Cipriano. Cipriano to the rim on a 2-on-2. Keeps it herself. Shot no good. And also picks up the charge. I'm sorry, that's Laura D'Agostino. Thank you. Laura Donna D'Agostino. Looked pretty good running the floor there, but better transition defense from the Owls. 22-21, Keene State with the lead. Kayla Weaver, after a long break, checks in for Emmanuel. It's her guarding the inbound pass. Again, Toch with the inbounds pass. Hien across the timeline. And she'll set the offense. Biology major at Keene State. Wants the teammate to go to the other side. 17 on the shot clock. 3 minutes even on the game clock as Leah Pelkey rotates it around. Hien Toch deflected by somebody and into the hands of the Saints. Cipriano the other way. Cipriano calls for the ball. They get it to her on the block. Turns around on Adamson outside Weaver for a long 2. And Emmanuel taking a lot of long mid-range jumpers, but hitting enough of them that they now have a 23-22 lead.
Yeah, did a nice job getting that shot off, too, just with Gagne about a split second away from being able to swat it away.
Foul on Kayla. That is her first. Saints with 7 fouls. Mathis, the point guard, has 2. And D'Agostino, the center, has 2.
Gagne, who just inbounded right in front of us, visibly tired, really in need of a break.
That's her right there. Gagne outside. It's DeRosia. Foot slipped for a moment, but Adamson gets it back out for DeRosia. DeRosia in, and that's going to be 3 seconds on Adamson, who never left the lane after she passed the ball. Emmanuel, 3 for its last 3. Keene State, 3 turnovers over that same period.
Yep, and 9 on the game for Keene State.
23-22, Saints with the lead. Corey Mathis is back in the game now for Emmanuel. Cipriano gives it up, calls for it back, and going to be an odd foul for a hand check on Samantha Adamson, who needs to get rid of a sock. That was interesting. I know that, you know what, that was something underneath her leg brace. I thought she pulled off her sock and tossed it to the side without taking her shoe off. That was...
I've not seen anybody do that.
No, I'm pretty sure some parts of the city you can get paid to do that.
Is it a breakaway sock?
Yes, exactly. And there's a traveling violation on Ramirez Tejeda.
Yeah, got the inbounds pass in a little bit of traffic and had to set feet twice on the way down.
23-22, Emmanuel leads. Momentary break here as they're going to go offense, defense, and preserve Corey Mathis, who's got 2 fouls. Kayla Weaver comes in. Touchdown pass. completed to Haley DeRosa. DeRosa drives in, layup, no, but rebound, oh, able to get to it is Kenzie Bennett. Check that, that's Adamson.
Lots of dragging of the pivot foot right there.
Yeah. Adamson trying to power around Cipriano. Tough shot, no, gets her own rebound. Is wrapped up and whacked, and then has the ball chucked back in her face for good measure there at the end of the play. It will still be Owls basketball, I believe.
Yeah, tough matchup for her, right? But I admire her stick-to-itiveness, which now officially has become a word, I guess.
Yeah, because perseverance wasn't simple enough.
And, being able to at least force something to happen.
3 from Gagne, no good. Boy, Keene State getting a ton of offensive rebounds here in this half. Adamson sets the screen. DeRosa goes the other way. Ball poked away. Here comes Ramirez Tejeda. It's a 2-on-1. Ramirez Tejeda leads up ahead. Layup is up and good. Nice pass by Uliska. And Leif with the finish. It's 25-22. Saints now with a 6-0 run. They lead by 3.
You are right about the offensive rebounds. They've got 17 boards, 8 of them on the offensive end. Of course, that's 8 of their 18 missed shots, but that's a pretty good percentage getting them back.
Toch this time gets the screen the way she wanted to get the ball back, but good defense by Weaver to close out. Adamson draws a crowd. And that's going to be the case until Keene State shows they can make a 3. Adamson draws up and over the top of the triple team. Nice job by Adamson. And Samantha with 4 points. Averages just 3 per game. Outside, Gillis with an open 3. No, as Ramirez Tejeda just overpowers DeRosa. And DeRosa ends up being the last to touch the ball. Arena. Now, would you say Ovchinnikova or Ovchinnikova?
Ovchinnikova.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Ovchinnikova. And I just had a really bad Russian accent. I don't know. Polina Ovchinnikova.
Oh, this is
Arina Ovchinnikova.
Exactly, her sister. Past Yeliska Ramirez Tejeda, whose shot is no good.
Vash sestra.
Is that sister in Russian?
Her sister, yes.
Okay.
I have like the 250 or so basic words of Russian I remember from my 4 semesters of it, which is literally 28 years ago.
Jan Toch with the ball. Shot clock is off. 4 seconds on the game clock. 3 from the far corner from Schliemann. Oh, rattles out. Pretty good look there. And Schliemann knows that she just missed one. And that could be the unofficial moniker of the first half for the Owls. Just missed one. They trail Emmanuel College at the break. It's the Saints 25 and the Owls 24. We'll take a break of about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and get you your first half statistics.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
This is why we love sports. It's in the way they play, free from the pressures and all the money talk. Playing for simply the love of the game, where everyone has a shot at their definition of success on and off the field. This is what we love about sports, and what we can still love about college sports.
My name is Marcus Walker. I was All-State, won a state championship, a high school All-American, and played college and pro ball. I played because I love the game. I grind to be the best. I sweat because I put in work. I'm strong because I believe. When I want to bring it before game time, I come to the house that college basketball built, the CBE. No matter your skill, take it to another level. Elevate your game right here at the College Basketball Experience at Sprint Center.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
Bad. What are you doing? Look, you're worthless.
Don't trust them. They'll hurt you. You're worthless.
It's pointless.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us. It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I coined my definition of success in 1934. My definition of success is peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable. It's like reputation and character. Reputation is what others perceive you to be. Character is what you are.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. It helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Coach of the Year, Administrator of the Year, All-America Team, Wade Trophy. The WBCA doesn't just honor coaches, but players, administrators, and much more. The WBCA strives to honor those who have contributed to the advancement of women's basketball. Celebrate the present, honor the past, look to the future.
being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
Yeah, we can go. And we're back out here at the D3Hoops.com Classic courtside for game 15 of 16, and it's at the half where Emmanuel leads Keene State by the score of 25-24. Looking at your halftime numbers, and of course, just looking at how things shaking out right now, a bit of a sloppy game so far. Emmanuel 12 of 33 from the floor. You see 36%. Very similar for Keene as they are 11 of 30. Slightly more success from beyond the arc, 2 for 8 compared to 0 for 6. Rebounding wise, it's even. Similar number of turnovers, although obviously Keene State's turned it over a handful more times and they've had a few fewer assists. But those are your team totals. Individually here, in the first 30 minutes, it's Yuleska Ramirez Tejeda with 8 points. And thanks to the tip that she needs just 5 more points to move into the top 10 all-time in scoring at Emmanuel. She's at 1,235 points so far. If she moves into that top 10, she would pass Brienne Bugnano, who was on that 2001 Final Four team for Emmanuel. Besides Ramirez Tejeda, it's Weaver with 5, Leif with 4. On the other side, it is Gagne with 5, Tamara Gagne for Keene State. Burke, Hebert, and Adamson have 4 points apiece. Gordon, we talked about it, obviously not a particularly well-executed first half, shall we say.
No.
Teams that combined for 17 turnovers, and they're shooting a combined 36%.
Well, and Emmanuel plays well. We know they can beat anybody because they have, and they were
So Keene State was going to need for them to play not up to their potential to stay in this game, and that's what's happened. The Emmanuel is ahead by 1 to start the second half, but hopefully we will get a close finish. There have been just a couple of those here at the Classic.
Been more
on the
than
women's side.
There have been more than a couple.
Both Claremont games.
There you go. See? What do we consider close?
What do we consider a couple?
All right. Well, instead of the semantics for the second half of play-by-play, let's send it over to Gordon Mann.
Emmanuel will start the half with the ball. Weaver, Yuleska Tejeda.
But just today, 63-57, 67-63.
That's true.
46-44.
I forgot this. This is
54-44, 63-52. I consider those at least close games.
Weaver, Leif, Yuleska Tejeda, Cipriano, and D'Agostino, the 5 on the floor. As D'Agostino slips it off. Shot from Weaver, no good, but a blocking foul called on... That's going to be Jordan Burke who picks it up. 5 on the floor for the Owls. The 5 starters, Ariana Hebert, Jordan Burke. Number 3, that's Haley DeRosia, Tamara Gagne, and Lily Schliemann. Correct that, Kenzie Bennett rather than Schliemann is in the starting lineup. Two teams brought a healthy amount of players. Sometimes you see smaller rosters for the travel, but Keene State's got about 15. Emmanuel's got about 13, although some of those players are not in. Don't look like they're game ready.
Well, and sometimes a smaller roster is an indication of a program that's struggling or been through some coaching turnover, or injuries also a possibility as well.
Gagne gets the ball inbounds over the top of the defense. DeRosia finds herself wide open and misses the layup. And DeRosia unable to pry the ball free from the grasp of Cipriano. 27-24. And pass dumped off Cipriano. Ouch. That is an elbow to the side of the head of DeRosia. And a foul. Not on DeRosia.
Actually a travel.
Oh, okay. DeRosia might be having a little problems hearing out of that right ear. She got whacked pretty hard.
Yeah, I think she's just about ready, and helped out by the fact that Cipriano has to bend over and tie her shoes. It's a little bit, DeRosia looked a little bit shaken up, kind of took a second to collect herself, then put her headband back on, and kind of still feeling that behind the left ear area where she got clocked.
Hebert, as Riley reaches in and commits the reach-in foul. 27-24, Emmanuel on top, 9:14 to play here in the third quarter. Ball inbounded, wide open, layup up and good. Somehow, Kenzie Bennett, the senior from Lake George, New York, was all alone underneath the rim and converts it for 2, and we're back to a 1-point game.
Purely miscommunication on the Emmanuel defense. Obviously, nobody picked her up.
Riley drives at a baseline. Nice shut off there by DeRosia, but Riley Laif with the mid-range jumper, which has been Emmanuel's specialty here in this game, and they've back out to a 3-point lead. Gagne with the ball down the floor. Gagne guarded by Yuleska Tejeda. On the top of the key, that's Gagne again. Bennett, who had that last basket. Desperately trying to get the ball down low to Burke, just 6 on the shot clock. Shot is up for Gagne, who climbs the ladder and off the top of the glass, or high off the glass for 2. And Keene State back within 1 again. Ramirez Tejeda hasn't had a touch here in a while, and just as I say that,
that's the ball.
He gets right to the ball and storms in. Looking at the our message boards, Guilford hit a 3 from just inside half court to beat Emory at Emory.
please. Just inside half court for Guilford. That's not even worth writing about.
On the women's side, Wartburg wins another holiday tournament. They defeat Wisconsin Lacrosse, who has 2 losses, both to Wartburg. And Whitewater defeated St. Thomas. Austin College remains undefeated. They beat Mary Hardin Baylor pretty handily.
Nice pick there.
Right here, Ramirez Tejeda passes the ball off. As Kayla Weaver will try and restore order. Lots of bodies all over the floor here. 20 on the shot clock, so plenty of time. 8 on the game clock, and Weaver just runs right over the top of one of the Owls who is down in a lot of pain.
Yeah, pounding the floor. They'll stop everything and bring training staff out to take a look.
The back of the head hitting the floor, is that, well, I won't try and guess. Here comes the trainer over now for the Owls. Well, it's the house trainer, but we'll take care of the prone player. One of the Keene State players knocked to the floor here in a collision, took the charge, and took a hard hit. And is that DeRosia again? Is it DeRosia again? Is it DeRosia again? No. It's Ariana Hebert, who's a player down for Keene State.
Yeah, wincing a little bit as she gets back up. They're looking at her closely. Just seems like she got her bell rung a little bit, but
ouch.
Yeah, rubbing the back of her head a little bit, as you described it. Just hitting the head, hitting the floor hard.
Well, that's good sacrifice of the body, I guess, from an athletic perspective there, as she took the hard charge. Hopefully it doesn't cost her in terms of health. 30-28, Emmanuel on top. Hien Toch checks in for the Owls. As Tamara Gagne set to inbound the ball. So
yeah.
Gagne.
Just to clarify, it doesn't look like her head actually hit the floor, but coming forward, maybe the elbow hit the back of her head, something like that. Still, obviously, it got clocked pretty hard.
Still with the trainer working on her on the sideline, they'll work through some concussion protocol. Pass slips through the hands of Bennett. Bennett will set the screen for Gagne. Gagne for DeRosia down low. Good pass in the post, shot up but no good for Jordan Burke. Got a good look at it but couldn't finish. Emmanuel by 2. Ramirez Tejeda down the floor on the wing, over for Kayla Weaver. Weaver asking for Cipriano to set up down low. Instead, they'll give it for Ramirez Tejeda. She comes off a screen. Inside the lane, floating jumper off glass. No good. Rebound controlled by Jordan Burke.
Yep, just a little bit too strong with that one.
Ramirez Tejeda now 4 for 13. Drive in DeRosia, left it way short. Shot from a foot out, left it about a foot short, and Ramirez Tejeda's touchdown pass is
about a foot long.
Yeah, too long for Kayla Weaver, incomplete.
Clock stops with 6:54 to go in the third. Tenth turnover on the afternoon for Emmanuel, third one of the second half.
Looking at the scoring here, it's been balanced but low all the way around. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise since it's 30-28, approaching the midway point of the third quarter. Gagne with 7 for the Owls, and Kayla Weaver with 7 for the Saints. Those are the 2 leaders. This is Tamara Gagne right here. Splits the defense, outside look. DeRosia for 3. She just can't find the range here today. That's once again an air ball. Weaver up ahead for Lahif. Gillis will try a 3. That's no good. DeRosia with the rebound. Owls back the other way. DeRosia slings it along the baseline. Hien Toch drives in. Nowhere to go, though. Shot from Kenzie Bennett from about 6 feet out on the baseline is good, and we're tied at 30 again.
Yeah, nice little pull up there. Good ball movement on that offense, on offensive set as well for Keene State. Bennett now has 4 points.
Owls have used 10 players and 9 of them have scored. Most of them have only scored once. Weaver for Gillis. Gillis wants to go. They would desperately want to get the ball down low to DeAugustino, but Owls doing a good job to front there. Weaver a long 2. It's off the mark, no good. And Lahif drives in baseline. Not sure where she was going, but it ends up going over to Keene State. Gagne the other way, 1-on-3. Tough shot off the underside of the rim, and Saints easily shut that fast break down.
Yeah, kind of fearless as you said, but 1-on-3, just numbers not in her favor.
DeAugustino looking down to the post. She'll pull up, takes the body. Shot's no good. Kenzie Bennett comes across the arms for the foul, and Loredana DeAugustino will head to the free throw line, the sophomore from Broadbrook, Connecticut.
Brief stint on the bench for Ramirez Tejeda. She's back into the ball game now.
Loredana, the lone 6-footer on the roster for Emmanuel. Both of these teams on the shorter side here. Keene State has actually got some decent height at the guard position, not so much with Toch and Gagne, but from some of their other players. But the guards are as tall as the forwards. Pretty much everybody is 5'10" after the 2-point guards. 31-30. Emmanuel by 1 as DeAugustino splits a pair. Yen Toch as the Saints will go zone now.
And Weaver's super active in this 2-3 zone. Everybody else playing at like 85% speed compared to her.
Yen Toch with a long 3. That's off the mark, no good. Rebound controlled by Lahif.
Maybe not the best way to attack a 2-3, but nearly got that one to go down.
As Gillis takes it to the rim hard. A couple of Owls flying out of the way.
Hebert sitting down at the end of the bench. She was chatting with one of the assistant coaches a few minutes ago. But know when they will deem her ready to go back in, if at all.
Gillis hits the first free throw. Taylor a, very limited free throw shooter. She's good in the few chances she's had. This is coming into the weekend. She was 4 for 5. That second one is no good. And an offensive foul, or a foul on the loose ball offensive rebound attempt there for Loredana. So 32-30, 4:46 to play. That's Loredana's third. Thank you. Toch brings the ball up the floor along with Bennett, DeRoja, Schliemann, and Jordan Burke as the ball is poked away out of bounds.
Toch picked up her dribble about 25 feet out, off balance.
Yeah.
Not knowing where she was going to go with the basketball, and, Keene State fortunate that it deflected out of bounds off of Emmanuel.
She's a senior, but she has the look of somebody who's still kind of just learning how to play point guard.
Maybe.
She pulls up a lot very early.
11 to shoot.
And Schliemann looks over the defense. They don't know what to do with this zone. Schliemann to the right wing. She'll pull up, zip it off. Bennett with the jumper from the foul line. No, Bennett grabs the rebound, though. That will break the zone, but not if you miss the shot. Bennett and Owls are going to get it back because the Saints defender, Ovchitnikova, is on the baseline. That's Arena who's checked in. She's seen more action than her sister, Paulina, here. And sauntering back into the lineup here is
Pelkey?
It's Leah Pelkey, yeah. Toch outside for DeRoja. Looking, nothing there. Long skip pass. Schliemann for 3, got it. And that was nicely set up by Pelkey, who had a screen that blocked out the sun and 2 Saints defenders and set Schliemann up for 3.
And she needed all of that because there was a long rainbow pass across. Wasn't particularly a lot of zip on it. And, Schliemann needed just a little bit of extra time to get the shot off.
Weaver leaves it for her teammate, but I'm not sure which one, and ends up in the hands of the Saints, or the Owls, 33-32. And Toch with the ball. Down low into the post. Pelkey calls for it, slips it off. Nice look for Schliemann, who's got 5 straight. And the Owls finding holes in the zone defense now, 35-32. Keene State by 3, 3:19 to play. Saints go a long time without getting the ball to Yeliska Ramirez Tejeda, excuse me. Gillis for 3. No, ends up as an air ball to Ramirez Tejeda. Shot no good, gets her own rebound. Powers around Schliemann, shot no good, gets her own rebound. Shot good, got it, count it, going to the line. Third try for Ramirez Tejeda is the charm, and that puts her into the top 10 all-time at Emmanuel College.
And it took her all 3 of those attempts, too. It was a struggle. She left those 2 shots short, and she's right underneath the basket.
All of that also gives her a double-double because she had 3 rebounds and 2 points on that. She's got 11 of each now. Ramirez Tejeda, feathery touch on the free throw. And the Saints have got us tied back up, 35-35. And those are big for Emmanuel because they do not shoot threes a lot or well. 28% on the season. So if they can get 3-point plays that way, they'll certainly take it. As Saints come on a press, Toch gets it across half court. Lofting shot. Oh, my goodness. Open look for Adamson, who they broke the press. They set Adamson up for a layup all alone, and she missed it. They do retain possession, though. Last touch by Emmanuel College.
So Toch has this long, dark hair, and she doesn't play with any kind of, hairband or anything like that to keep it controlled.
Just flying all. I wonder if it makes it hard to see.
I can't imagine what it's like to play with that in your face. As the person who has the hair, let alone as someone who's defending that person. That's going to be distracting either way. Yeah. Nice screen.
And once again, good screen from Pelkey. Schlieman's shot is no good. Did they get it off before the shot clock? They're going to say yes. Okay.
It was good. It was a good screen, but also good defense by Emmanuel, just forcing Schliemann to go so far underneath the basket when she was driving baseline that she ended up underneath it and couldn't get a good look.
Now, Schliemann, the team's top free throw shooter. We mentioned this is a very poor free throw shooting team as a whole, 57%. But Schliemann, who's about where you'd like your team to be, as the team leader at 71%, and she misses the first. Health science major, New Hampshire native. Big sigh there for Schliemann, who hits the second. She's had a good quarter here. She has 6 points in this period, and the Owls are back in front again. In fact, she has the last 6 points for Keene State, 36-35. Toch coming up on Weaver. Ramirez Tejeda sets the screen. Weaver doesn't go to her. Instead, she goes to the other side for Laheef. Weaver, as Ramirez Tejeda calls for the ball, gets it down to Ramirez Tejeda. Shot, no. Gets her own rebound, lays it up and in. And she is just so much stronger than everyone else on the floor. That's 13 for Ramirez Tejeda, and to go with 13 rebounds. 37-36. Schliemann with Ramirez Tejeda on her, who is making sure there's nobody behind her, waving her arms to see if she can feel a screener. Yeah, and Toch didn't get any help from her teammates, so she couldn't turn around because she was covering the ball handler. Weaver outside. Once again, a long 2, and up and good for Laheef. And she's, as good as that is, she's got to learn to take that extra step, her front foot back. It was a long 2. Yeah,
the official first put up an arm and then corrected herself.
Yeah, it was a long 2.
That they merit an explanation from the official who put up the wrong arm first. But it is indeed a 2-pointer by a significant margin.
Yeah. Full timeout, we'll take it. Emmanuel College leads by 3. Back with more of the Classic after this.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass. And cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success. And prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Yeah, you go get something to drink and come back.
That sounds like a good idea, because we are back here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. 39-36 our score, and Emmanuel late coming out of the timeout had to rush back into position.
So the officials do confirm that it was a long two. Drive in Schliemann. That's a short two, but an easy one. As 8th point of the period for Schliemann, and the Owls continuing to hang around here, 39-38. Last few possessions down the floor, they have just given it to Ramirez Tejeda and just said,
have your thing.
Go, yeah.
Do your basketball thing.
Ramirez Tejeda into the post for Lahif. Nice head fake one way and off glass for two for Riley. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's probably the best move I've seen in this game by anybody.
41-38. Owls bring the ball up the floor. DeRosia on a 2-on-1 break, wide open, and Adamson, yes!
Jeez.
Nearly missed another point-blank layup. But
well, yes, and here's why. She got the pass in perfect position to go and shoot, but she put the ball on the floor first.
Yeah.
Didn't go anywhere with it.
Power dribbles only make sense if you're going to dunk it afterwards.
Well, if you're head faking somebody out of the way, right, you're waiting for a defender to fly by you. Man, she was fortunate to have anything, to be able to do anything with that. 2 defenders collapsed on her.
Try and complete the three-point play, get this even. Nope. And Adamson touches it with her left hand, is unable to get the rebound, which goes to you-know-who. And here she comes down the floor. Ramirez Tejeda, shot, no. Offensive rebound, shot, no. She'll go to the free throw line.
I thought it was YOLO, not you-know-who. Yo no sé nada de esto.
14 points for Ramirez Tejeda, 15 rebounds. So she's comfortably over her season average in the latter category. She averages 11 per game. First free throw up and good. Saints have shot free throws well. They're 8 of 11 here. Keene State has shot free throws rarely. They're 1 for 3.
They don't attack the basket very much.
No.
12 of their 47 attempts are from beyond the arc, and more of them are from mid-range.
So Tejeda gets both. 43-40. Emmanuel on top. Good period for Ramirez Tejeda and good period for Lindsay Schliemann.
Touch working on her ball handling skills here out between the circles.
8 on the shot clock. Lahif feels the screen to her left. Touch kicks over. Shot clock or game clock down to 2 seconds. Schliemann drive, shot, no, and got a good look at it, but couldn't finish.
Yep, real nice look at a runner there at the buzzer, but as you say, come up empty.
Lindsay Schliemann with 10 points in that period. Ramirez Tejeda matches her. It's the latter, Ramirez Tejeda and the Saints, who lead. It's 43-40. We'll take a break, come back with your last period of women's basketball here from the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic.
The love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back to the South Point Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Close game between these teams. Neither is led by more than 2 possessions throughout. Emmanuel with a 43-40 lead. You've got the starters, well, no, not quite the starters back out there. In fact, it's mostly reserves for Keene State to start this 4th period. Schliemann has got the hot hand, drives in, lifts the shot short, and the air ball is snared by Ramirez Tejeda. The Saints, on the other hand, do have their 5 starters out there. Along with Yolo, it's Cipriano D'Agostino, Lahif, who drives in, as this one deflect off, and Kayla Weaver. I'll correct myself, Lahif is not a starter. Corey Mathis has played very little. She's the starter and got 2 early fouls and basically hasn't played since. Cipriano for D'Agostino, and an offense only the San Antonio Spurs could love. All mid-range jumpers all the time. 45-40. As they lead the Saints here by 5.
The Owls on the floor are Gagne, who is a starter, along with Toch, Schliemann, Pelkey, and Adamson.
Gagne for Toch. Toch is a good matchup for speed there, but pulls it back out. Gagne with the ball. Toch calling for it as she cuts through the defense. Gagne will go. 6 on the shot clock, now down to 5. Schliemann fires up a 3. That's back rim no good. Weaver with the long rebound. And Emmanuel now with a chance to take a 3-possession lead. D'Agostino into the paint and floats it up and in and does just that. Largest lead of the game for either team as the Saints lead 47-40. And Coach Boucher wants to talk things over. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with him. Emmanuel College 47, Keene State 40. Back in just a bit.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all. It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back. Keene State chased into a timeout there by a quick spurt from the Saints to start the fourth quarter. And the Owls have got a couple new players back out on the floor, including Ariana Ibert, which is good to see. She took a hard knock to the head in the third quarter. Drive in, open look, Ibert amongst the trees and nudged out of bounds by either Lahif or Weaver. And it's going to be... Well, they showed 24, so it's Kayla Weaver who picks up the foul. It's the first foul on the Saints here in the fourth quarter. 8:13 to play. Ibert wanted to go to Schliemann, nothing there, so he gets it out to Gagne instead. Keene State really needs a bucket here, down by 7. Ibert, almost to the left. The defense from Ramirez Tejeda. Ariana Ibert somehow gets that off, but Ramirez Tejeda with yet another rebound. Down the floor, through the arms of her teammate. Actually does manage to save it inbound. Shot no good, and Kenzie Bennett with the rebound for Keene State. Ibert with Bennett, Schliemann, Gagne, and Jordan Burke, the 5 on the floor. Schliemann outside. Looks at a 3. Open look for Gagne. Instead, she goes to Bennett. Bennett for 3. No. Open look there along the baseline, but didn't like the angle she had, so kicked over for 3. Kayla Weaver splits the defense. Pass over the top of the defense. Last touched by Jordan Burke.
You talked about the number of rebounds that Ramirez Tejeda has here with 7:19 to go. She's got 18 of them, which gives her the 3rd most rebounds by a player in a single game in the history of women's basketball, or all basketball at the D3Hoops.com Classic, and 4 boards away from tying for the most.
Ramirez Tejeda in front of her coach, hits the jumper. She's now got 18 points as well, and it's 49-40 Emmanuel as the Saints start to pull away in this one. Emmanuel College, favorites of the Great Northeast Athletic Conference, the GNAC. And as Ariana Hebert drives in, tough angle shot, and another rebound for Ramirez Tejeda. Flips it up ahead. And nobody picked her up, but she let the ball go. She thought it was intended for somebody else. Nobody else there. Gagne drives in. Gets herself into trouble. The paint, turnaround, left-hand hook shot, no good, and the rebound controlled by Emmanuel. Kayla Weaver prods the three-point line and pulls it back out. Leaf. Pull-up jumper, no. Off the mark, no good. Saints will just collect the offensive rebound and try it again. 15 offensive rebounds now for Emmanuel. Keene State has only 22 as a team and only 13 defensive rebounds. And it's not like that's because Emmanuel is making such a high percentage that they're not available. Emmanuel's shooting 40%, 20 for 50 from the floor.
Right.
Hasn't hit a three yet in 8 attempts. And Weaver at the foul line. We'll try and extend this to a double-digit lead. This is the first. Weaver 3 for 4 from the foul line. Saints 9 of 13 overall. $50-40 now with Weaver gets the second one to fall. She's got 8 points. And the Owls haven't scored in a while now. DeRoja into the post as Jamad Finn checks back in for Emmanuel and does just enough to alter that shot from Jordan Burke. And the Saints come down with another defensive stop. Lahif on the outside for Loredana D'Agostino. D'Agostino from the top of the arc. Lahif pull up, elbow, no, outside Jamad Finn. Will shoot the three occasionally. Gets it off for Lahif. Outside D'Agostino, 2 on the shot clock. Has to get something off. Pull up jumper. Ugh. Wedges between the rim and the backboard. I believe she was fouled, though.
Oh, dang. No, there's a broom over there for that purpose, folks. Also to clean off the floor.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Please, we need, I think there is a spare basket, but we don't need to use it.
Right.
Jeez.
Here's Tejeda showing us that gymnastics are also perhaps
working the rings.
And an excellent softball player who, when the Saints were eliminated from the NCAA tournament last year in the second game of the tournament, the softball team was in Florida playing probably the bulk of their season. Being in Massachusetts, they probably play most of their games down during spring break, or as many as they can.
Or the first ones, for
yeah.
Sure.
So she got on the plane, flew down, and was in action the next day. And by NCAA rules, she could take a week off, but by Ramirez Tejeda rules, she did not want to.
5 minutes and 20 seconds since Keene State last scored.
And not going to get a score here either, at least for the moment. Kickball by Emmanuel, or by the Saints. Well, Hebert, 5-second count, close, gets it into Burke, who has an open look, instead over for DeRoja for 3. That's an air ball. 15 on the shot clock. It does not reset. Hebert drives into trouble and has the ball taken away. It's 51-40, under 5 to play. Jamad Finn with the ball here. Jamad to the left side. First steal of the game for Riley Lahif. Oh, there have been plenty of turnovers by Keene State. They're now up to 12. 12 turnovers, 18 field goals for the Owls. Jamad Finn into the lane. Floater, no. Side rim, no good. Rebound controlled by Gagne. And if the Owls are going to make a run, it has to pretty much start right here, down by 11. Bennett thinks about a 3. Drives in, shot, got it, count it, going to the line. Kenzie Bennett, with the English on the ball, will have a chance to pull this within 8.
Yeah, just enough of the right amount of spin to get that to fall down. Not entirely sure how she managed that, to be honest with you.
Free throw up and good for Bennett. Owls men's team is off today. Keene State men were at the Great Lakes Invitational for a pair of games in Worcester, Ohio this weekend. Anyway,
a couple good tournaments.
Yeah. At that event, they lost to the host College of Worcester, and then I think lost the second game to John Carroll, 2 quality programs.
Well, they did just as well as Whitworth did then.
Yeah.
That's exactly
right.
what Whitworth did.
Whitworth also, right, exactly. Yeah, same 2 teams, in fact. Great Lakes Invitational, a collection of, as the name suggests, Great Lakes region teams, and then some teams from outside the region played every 2 years. This year was at Worcester, who used it as their Moe's Hole tournament, their traditional holiday tournament.
Yeah, I was surprised and impressed by that.
Yeah.
That's the tournament I used to go to before we had one here.
Right, yeah. Drive to the right side. Hien Toch leaves it short. Rebound, Jamad Finn. 51-43. Jamad down the floor. Breaks the press, and we'll pull it back out momentarily. Weaver guarded by Toch. Zipping around the defense. And Emmanuel not in any hurry now, up by 8. With 14 seconds to play. Just as I say that, a long 2 again. You think she's confused by which one is the 3-point line? I don't know.
I mean,
it's working. She's making them, I guess.
Right, exactly. Keep making them, and it's going to be less of an issue.
6 of 9 from the floor.
From 19-9, she's great.
Yeah. 53-43, Saints by 10 as they opened up the lead here at the start of the fourth quarter. And the Owls, I think, have 3 points total in this fourth period. Defense collapses. Hien Toch works it around. Bennett wide open underneath. Bennett had to get something off, though. She didn't have a chance to dish it to Adamson.
Yep.
And it ends up being a shot clock violation.
Yeah, she got the shot off, but hit only glass, did not hit the rim. Timeout with 2:53 to go. 10-point lead. Full timeout. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more from the D3Hoops.com Classic in Las Vegas.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Welcome back to the South Point Casino and Resort. The women's portion of the D3Hoops.com Classic just about in the books. 53-43. Emmanuel looks like they're going to head home 2-0, which is Amherst and George Fox did. Claremont Mudscripts and Scranton earning splits in the first 2 games of the women's action. Scranton beating St. Vincent College. Claremont beating, DeSales earning the split. They beat Claremont. Into the post. Yeah, let's get to Ramirez Tejeda. Got it. Count it. Going to the line. She storms over the top of DeRosia, and that gives Ramirez Tejeda 20 points and 19 rebounds. Is 20 the record for rebounds?
22 is the record.
Okay. I don't think she's likely to get there.
There's an opportunity.
Who knows? Yeah.
You know, as you said, she could get all 3 of them on like the next possession.
That's right. That's true.
Rebounds are a renewable resource. And she's 8 for 20 from the floor, so there's always potential.
5 for 6 from the foul line. 21 points now for Uleska. And a 13-point lead. Coach Yosinov did not show an inclination to take his foot off the pedal yesterday when he was up 30 on a team with 7 players. So.
Or much any time in the last 2 decades.
Right. So if you're thinking she might get a break, I don't know if that's going to happen. Bennett drives in, ball poked away. Good hands there by Riley Lahif, who's played well in this game. 56-43 coming.
After
the score
they-
with 2:09 coming. I'm sorry.
After they snapped that 5-minute scoring drought, they're back on another one.
Yeah, they have one. They have one basket in this period, one scoring possession, the 3-point play. DeRosia with 5 on the shot clock. Bennett kicks out, open look at a long 2 for Jordan Burke. And Jordan Burke converts. 56-45, Emmanuel. Burke with her 6th point of the game. Schliemann has 10. She got it all in the third quarter and hasn't taken more than one shot since.
Should be more on that mismatch between Ramirez Tejeda and Touch. Touch is...
Yeah, that's I can't think of a more extreme mismatch between the two players or the two teams. Shot up, no. As Touch tried to jump and Ramirez Tejeda had her left arm on her and it looked like she was nailed to the floor. 56-45. Down low, reverse layup, no. Rebound controlled by D'Agostino, and Saints will just run some clock now, up 11.
Now I'm willing to concede she might not get 3 more rebounds.
They better get her the ball here quickly. If that's
Oh, they better put the ball up. You can't rebound without a shot.
Shot blocked by DeRosia, out of bounds. So thoughts on the individual standouts you saw this weekend? Mason, Eck, Fox, Ramirez Tejeda, those are the All-Americans, although some other very good individual players too.
Yeah, Madison Kohler for St. Vincent would go on that list. Coleman for George Fox would go on that list. She had a great tournament. Shipley, like the freshman for Amherst.
Yeah.
Plays pretty well down in the rotation, but I can see that she's going to be going up that rotation quite a bit.
They think very, very highly of her.
She's very good.
56-45. The funny thing with George Fox, every year they're good. Every year they're top 10 or around there. And every year we look at them for All-Americans and say, there's got to be someone. And then you realize they all score like 10 points a game.
Yeah.
Outside, Kayla Weaver, long 2, no. And, Ramirez Tejeda has it deflect off her hand. That was it. That was her chance there to go on a string of rebounds. Tamara Gagne, yes, that's the right one. As we finalize the all-tournament team.
And Ramirez Tejeda, I assume, right?
Yeah.
I'm just got to ask.
So
for the record.
So the women's all-tournament team would be Uleska Ramirez Tejeda. Who was it from the University of New England?
Well, ask me that again in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
I pull that file back up. I do not have all 10 of those picks memorized.
Okay. It'll be Tamara Gagne from Keene State. Madison Kolar from St. Vincent, I'm sure.
Yep. Hannah Fox.
Hannah Fox from Amherst, right?
All right, so let's see here.
You've got lots to pick from George Fox.
Jocelyn Chappett of University of New England.
Okay.
Emily Sheehan for Scranton.
Yeah.
Danielle Valley from Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Claremont was Gloria Bates.
Thank you. Good.
DeSales was Avery Jordan.
Oh, now that's too many informations.
The only one we're missing is George Fox.
Kylan Coleman.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Little family connection there, huh?
I don't know where in the tree it splits, and they took a different spelling of the name.
Yeah, that's right. It's spelled different. I had for the second time as there is the break here, and if you're with us, you're probably friends or family at this point anyway. But
of us?
Well, somebody. For the second time in recent years, I met somebody and said, "Oh, timeout."
Okay.
I met someone and realized we may be related. Megan Beeler from DeSales. My sister's husbands are the Beelers, and they're from right in that area. I had the same conversation with All-American point guard Bridget Mann. Shared the same last name, again, from the same part of the country. And I think we concluded related. Maybe. So, it's a big family.
Yeah.
Jamon Finn to inbound. Corey Mathis, who finds her way into the game here with 16 seconds left. Starting point guard who, I don't know, didn't play too much more than 16 seconds in the rest of the half. And she gets called for an offensive foul.
Well,
is he going to put her back on the bench? Is she even going to get the 16 seconds? That's her third. She got in foul trouble early on, and they, really haven't needed her here. And Keene State takes a timeout with 15.3 seconds remaining. You can't take them with you. So coming up, the last game, the marquee matchup, I think, on the men's side, no offense to our friends in the NJAC, but it's the two teams that have a win. It's River Falls, which looks like the most complete team here, and River Falls just 2 years removed from winning the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Last year, again, they were pretty good, but they went 1-7 to start conference play and buried themselves before the calendar hit February. They're looking to avoid doing that this year. And Muskingum, who's got the number 3 scorer in the country, and if you like shooting,
so does he.
Yes. Marcus Dempsey, inside the 3-point line or inside the half-court line is what he considers his range.
Now, I will be ready with the full women's basketball tournament team here at the next stoppage.
56-47, 15 seconds to play. Owls trying to finish on a high note here. Pass down low. Well, that's wide open. And that's as easy a basket as you're going to get, Jenny Friedman.
They had 2 players wide open underneath.
She's only covered by your teammate.
And Burke. That's right.
56-49, Mathis has the ball poked free, but that is the end of this one. Emmanuel College comes to Las Vegas. Wasn't pretty, but it counts. They get 2 wins, a lopsided blowout of undermanned Milwaukee School of Engineering yesterday, and a 56-49 win over a young and rebuilding Keene State squad today. But looks like 2 wins just the same for an Emmanuel College team that's trying to put together some momentum. They've had, as we mentioned before, started the season with losses. Then they beat Amherst. Then they had more losses, and now maybe headed back in the right direction after coming in here off a loss to Rhode Island College. So a couple of wins for Coach Yosinoff. He's had more than a few of those in his career.
Yes. Do you have a number on that?
839 now wins for Coach Yosinoff in his 43rd season as he continues to put distance between himself and Mike Strong of Scranton.
For the most wins ever, active or not, as the Division III women's basketball head coach.
That's exactly right. So, and I know he jokes with Matt Ducharme told me the joke that he jokes with the other coaches of the Little East Conference that they're never going to catch him because he's never going to retire. And so far, he's good for his word. So who is our all-tournament team?
All right, the women's basketball all-tournament team for the D3Hoops.com Classic in 2019, Gloria Bates of Claremont Mudd Scripps, Jocelyn Chappett of the University of New England, Kylan Coleman of George Fox, Tamara Gagne of Keene State, Avery Jordan of DeSales, Yuleska Ramirez Tejeda of Emmanuel, Madison Kohler of St. Vincent, Emily Sheehan of Scranton, Danielle Valley of Milwaukee School of Engineering, and the most outstanding player is Hannah Fox of Amherst.
So a lot of players to pick from in terms of most outstanding players, and again, an exceptionally strong field put together by Sport Tour Internationals with 4 top 10 teams and 4 others who could very well find themselves in the NCAA tournament and have in the past, as Emmanuel College enjoys the moment, soaks things up, takes a picture here. They're just off screen, but taking a team picture. And as they were walking over there, they pointed over at the banner, that some cool banners off to the side here, and they said, "I want that." So that's good. Somebody ought to take that home with them. It's very nice. Someone besides me. I think I can get all 9 of them in my carry-on luggage anyway. But Emmanuel College with the victory. And again, if you're interested in bringing your team here to Las Vegas, I think there are still a couple of slots next year. It's shaping up to be another very strong women's field and a strong men's field as well. Sport Tours International, or you can contact us from D3Hoops.com. We'll put you in touch with Brett Seymour. For everyone on the women's side of our coverage here at the D3Hoops.com Classic, for all 10 teams, for the Sports Information Director, who we appreciate Dan listening in and watching and feeding us some good notes on Ramirez Tejeda, and for the folks in Keene, New Hampshire, stay warm, have a happy new year. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the grand finale. On the men's side, it'll be the Wisconsin River Falls Falcons and the Muskingum Fighting Muskies. One team's going home 2-0. We'll find out which in about 2 hours. For Pat Coleman, Dave McHugh, our producer, and Ira Thor, Larry Radloff, and everyone else here in Las Vegas, we wish you a pleasant good evening.